12 years ago, Casey Stoner, the MotoGP world champion, started out his racing career in the Aprilia Super Team class, and now in 2012 it's time to crown a new champion. Riders aged 12 to 18 begin the Thundersport GB Championship at Brands Hatch. Welcome to GP Racing Dream. Welcome to a wet and windy Brands Hatch for the opening round then of the Aprilia Super Team Championship, the most successful one-make racing series in the world. We have a new crop of youngsters taking to the circuits. Conditions not the best, obviously, but nevertheless, it's great to have some new riders on the grids for this year's Super Team Championship. On pole position is going to be Sam Smith. Sam, a rider, 13 years of age, there he is, who took part in last year's championship, but has jumped leaps and bounds to make his way up onto the front step. Look at that number 8 there, Lewis Rollo, young rider from Scotland, 12 years old. Very quick in these wet conditions. There's Milo Ward, a rider that was regularly finishing in the top 10 last season. Milo is one to look out for, and then just on the edge of that front row there is Connor Moody, number 44. Going through to the second row, that's Bradley Perry there. The orange vests, by the way, and the red backing on the number boards denotes that the riders are newcomers this season. All of them on identical machinery, and the first race on the TV of the season is go now, and 1-1-1 there. Not a great start for Sam Smith, but it was an electric start for number 8, Lewis Rollo, but it's going to be Milo Ward, number 41, that takes the lead into turn 1. Milo, teammate of last year's champion Joe Francis, is looking to go one better this year and win the championship himself. He's, well, at the age of just 14 years old, he's actually one of the oldest competitors in the top 10. We have a real young bunch this season. We have 5 or 6 new riders turning up to Donington Park at our next event who are just about to turn 12 years old, but at the front straight away, it's going to be that young man, number 8, Lewis Rollo. Those of you that watched the dramatic finale last season at Mallory would have seen the debut from Lewis Rollo, and he took his first ever Aprilia Super Team win. So, and he's already proving here that he's a demon in the wet conditions. Of course, all of that experience from Knock Hill no doubt helping. Taking a rather wide line there was Cameron Lee, number 58. Lots of new names to remember for this year, but already breaking away at the front, it is Lewis Rollo. He's got Milo Ward there in second position. Connor Moody, number 44 there in fourth position. Sam Smith, the pole sitter, is just on the outside there in third. Number 5 there in fifth position, that's George Stanley from Stapleton, the 13-year-old. Many people's tip for success this year. Number 97, just behind Connor Moody, is Bradley Perry, the newcomer. Didn't get off to the best of starts, but he is last year's ATCC British Junior Road Race Championship winner, so he's got plenty of experience on 2 wheels, but it's his first ever season in the Aprilia Super Teams. There is number 97 with the orange vest. That means he is a newcomer for this year. But at the front, Milo Ward has taken to the lead. He's managed to get past Lewis Rollo, and as they make their way into clearways, Lewis Rollo, look at the focus from the young Scotsman as they make their way around clearways, and 2 very different lines as they go across the start-finish line, and the lighter Lewis Rollo pulls up alongside Milo Ward and manages to take the lead. So Milo's going to have a lot of work to do in the corners in this race if he's to keep up with Lewis Rollo. Rollo, of course, at the tender age of 12 years old, back in 2008 on mini motos, he was tipped in a local newspaper in Scotland, and the headline read, "Roll over, Mr. Rossi, I'm on your tail." So he's been tipped to success for many a year now, and this is his first full season in Aprilia Super Teams. Here he is leading at Brands Hatch ahead of Milo Ward. A little bit further back, Sam Smith's having some fun with Bradley Perry. Last year's winner, of course, Joe Francis, has moved up to the British 125 GP category, but a number of the riders, in fact, probably 85 to 90% of the top 10 finishers from last season's championship have moved up to the class above the 125s, which is, of course, the Aprilia RRV 450s. Look out for GP Racing Dream, the next step. That will be coming up in a few weeks' time on Modus TV. Another quick shot there of number 48, that's Hamish Adamski. But at the front, Lewis Rollo has just made a little bit of a break away from Milo Ward, maybe a 2 or 3 bike length lead he now has. Sam Smith, 111, a number that was sported by the great Aaron Slight back in the World Superbike days, is up into 3rd position. And there's number 95, that's Ross Simpson, another newcomer this year, just 12 years old, with a rookie vest. Number 96 in 15th position, that's Connor Wheeler. And so a number of new riders entering the championship this year. So other than Lewis Rollo, none of these riders have actually ever taken an Aprilia Super Team win. Lewis taking both Super Team victories on the Saturday here. Number 4 just going through, that was Louis Vallely. But there is 111, Sam Smith. The rain's still pouring down here at Brands Hatch, but nothing stopping race leader Lewis Rollo at the moment. This the battle for 3rd position between 111 Sam Smith and number 5 George Stanley. George, a rider that really came on strong towards the end of last year. He was a newcomer himself at the beginning of 2011 and gradually just crept up into the top 10, was fighting for top 5 finishes by the end of the season at Mallory Park. Here again we have race leader number 8 Lewis Rollo from Haddington in Scotland. Of course, got himself involved in that mass scrap for the championship at the end of last year at Mallory Park between Tom Oliver and Joe Francis, and got himself his first victory in the process. That's George Stanley, number 5, chasing Sam Smith. That's the fight for 3rd position. Number 58, a wild line around clearways with Cameron Lee and Connor Moody there. They're scrapping it out inside the top 10. And there's James Hobson, a rider from last year's GP3 championship. And number 95, Ross Simpson also. And Rollo makes his way into Surtees once more. There's Milo Ward, Motrack Racing, teammate last year to Joe Francis. Milo certainly grown quite a bit over the winter period, and that is going to be a disadvantage to him at some of the speed circuits. Of course, with all these bikes being absolutely identical, weight does come into play on the straights, so he'll have a lot of work to do in the corners all season long. There's George Stanley again. Can he get himself a well-deserved podium? Number 8, Lewis Rollo, leads. He's got around about a 2-second advantage now over Milo Ward. And is there going to be any stopping this youngster? It's certainly been a long, long while since we had an Aprilia Super Team weekend where we had the same race winner for all 4 races. Each championship, every year has been right down to the wire. But just as I say that, Milo Ward seems to have found some speed from somewhere, because that gap at the front has diminished. Lewis Rollo, maybe he's made a mistake, or he's certainly not used to dealing with tail enders, so that gap down to well under a second now. Milo Ward perhaps smells the victory as they come across the line and see the last lap flag, and it's going to be do or die, you fear, for Milo Ward. There's number 8, Lewis Rollo. In fact, where is Milo Ward as they make their way down into Paddock Hill? And Milo Ward has gone missing, so that means that we're going to have a bit of a shift around. George Stanley has moved up into 2nd position. There he is, number 5. Sam Smith there, 111, is 3rd. So Milo Ward out of this race, and all that's going to do is extend the championship lead for Lewis Rollo. He just has about half a lap to go. He deals with Graham Hill Bend. This young rider from Scotland is going to take 75 points out of a possible 75 here. He's got quite a bit of traffic to deal with, but he must surely know that he's got around about a 12-13-second advantage over the rest of the field at the moment. In fact, it's more than that. It's almost 30 seconds thanks to the loss of Milo Ward. And they make their way around clearways and onto the start-finish straight. And the first race of the season on TV for the Aprilia Super Teams is going to go to Lewis Rollo. He wins at Brands Hatch as we wait to see who's going to take 2nd position. Should be, and we'll wait for it, but George Stanley, this would be his best ever finish if he can take it, and I can tell you that he has gone across the line to take 2nd position ahead of Sam Smith, 111. Bradley Perry has managed to get himself up in the top 5 as well. There's the results then, 31 seconds. The lead for Lewis Rollo. Stanley in 2nd ahead of Smith, Perry, Armstrong, Thomas. Harrison took 7th ahead of Hamish Adamski, James Hobson, and Zach Cordery finished in 10th. And there is little Lewis Rollo in the middle there, very happy with his day's work so far. In the Nitro Newcomers, it was a win for Bradley Perry, who finished 4th overall.
Lewis Rollo, fantastic win, nice clean set of heels.
Yeah, it was a good race. Just at the start I was in a battle with Milo, but then he fell off, what was a shame, and then I just managed to get a lead.
You like the wet conditions?
Yeah, well, up in Scotland it's always raining, so...
Who'd you like to thank?
I'd like to thank family and friends for helping get my bikes together over the winter, Mum and Dad for paying, Alan McIntosh for fixing the bikes, and Mike for doing the engines.
George Stanley, fantastic race there. You just pipped into the second in the end.
Yeah, it was a close race between me and Sam, and I seen my chance and I just went for it, and it was a very good race.
That was brilliant, very well done. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sister for coming and supporting me. Also, I'd like to thank my mum for coming and supporting me, and I'd like to thank my dad for being the best mechanic in the world. Sam
Smith, fantastic race there with George Stanley. Just tell us about it.
Yeah, it was really slippery out there. It's a bit greasy around paddock and clearways. He come past me and I couldn't do anything about it. It was just madness, yeah.
Well, that was really good. Who would you like to thank?
I'd like to thank RST Levers for all their help, KBC Helmets, Motor Oil, John and Mick from G-Tech Performance, and my granddad Bob.
You're first in the Nitro Newcomers. How was the race for you today?
Oh, it was awesome. I was like going around corners. It was a bit slippy, but I was going out there and just tried to come home on the bike. So yeah, really happy.
Well, the rain's still pouring down here at Brands Hatch, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with race 2. Welcome back to Brands Hatch Thundersport GB. It's Aprilia Super Teams Race 2. The wet tyres are still on here, supplied by Dunlop, and Sam Smith is on pole position, finishing third in race 1, looking to go a couple better and win this race. But is there any stopping this young man from Scotland, number 8, Lewis Rollo? 3 wins from 3 so far. It's a perfect start in the 2012 season. Milo Ward, unfortunately, going AWOL. Still reasonably optimistic, though, looking for his first ever victory in the Aprilia Super Team class. And there is Conor Moody, number 44. George Stanley, just in the top right corner there on the second row, number 5. And alongside him, number 97, Bradley Perry, number 95, Ross Simpson, and 58, Cameron Lee. Looks like we're just about ready. Green flag at the back. That means we're ready to go racing. Race 2 for the Super Teams is go. It's another great start there from Lewis Rollo. Sam Smith not quite able to get away from the line very well around the outside. There goes number 5, George Stanley. And as they make their way into Paddock Hill Bend, got to be probably the best corner in Great Britain, that one. It is Lewis Rollo, the race winner from earlier, that gets the whole shot and leads into Druids. A bit further back, there's number 43, that's Alex Platt, and number 18, that's Leanne Hunt. Leanne, one of the young female riders in the Aprilia Super Teams this year, and her second season of racing. Conor Moody, number 44, just is certainly looking a little bit wetter than it was in race 1, so you're going to have to tread carefully around clearways. There is number 67, that's Gideon Thomas, who finished 6th in the earlier race. He's just got past William Holland there, number 93. But out front, look at the lead that Lewis Rollo's got already ahead of number 41, Milo Ward. George Stanley back to business, straight up into 3rd position ahead of Sam Smith. And Lewis Rollo, well, that's out about a 2.5 lead already he's got over Milo Ward. Stanley, it is in 3rd ahead of Sam Smith, and then there is number 44, Conor Moody. That record here at Brands Hatch in the Aprilia Super Teams still belongs to Jake Dixon, actually, at 54.8, and that was set a couple of seasons back, because Jake has since been in a 450 championship and this year on a 600, but it's Rollo that leads from Milo Ward, George Stanley in 3rd, Sam Smith 4th, and there is Moody once more in 5th position, and just taking that outside approach to clearways, which just gives you a nice drive and a lovely sweeping turn into clearways. You have to be ever so careful. There is a slight bump there, and if you hit it at the wrong time, ever so easy to get wrong round here. We've seen a number of riders fall victim to clearways already this weekend at Brands Hatch. plenty of riders with orange vests, the newcomers for 2012, just gingerly making their way around that tricky final turn. Milo Ward there in second position. I think he'll just be looking to consolidate as many points as possible in this race after going AWOL in that first race earlier on. Of course, we do tend to find that most of the newcomers come on strong in around the third or fourth weekend, but they're going to have to come on strong a little bit quicker than that, because the way things are going, Lewis Rollo is going to have an enormous lead heading into Donington Park, which is where we head next to the Thundersport GB Championships. A good scrap, though, lining up here for third position. That's George Stanley just ahead of Conor Moody there, number 44, who's carrying quite a bit of speed into McLaren and Clearways. Sam Smith is just behind these two in fifth position. My, look at that lead. That's a 5 or 6 second lead for Lewis Rollo. He's been untouchable all weekend here at Brands Hatch, and like he said, it's raining quite a bit in Scotland, so experience of racing at Knockhill coming in rather handy here at Brands Hatch. And if we have anything like last year, there'll be probably a good 4 or 5 rounds that will be hit with rain this year, but fingers crossed we have a few sunny events also. Neat and tidy racing style, very smooth, which is exactly what you need in wet conditions. Milo Ward is, well, he was in second position, he still is, but he's being caught. That's George Stanley in third position, and Conor Moody is a man on the move. Sam Smith still in fifth position. A bit further back, Bradley Perry is in and around 6th or 7th with Gideon Thomas. There's number 5, George Stanley, and Conor Moody looking to make a move on Stanley now. They head around Clearway Corner, and Sam Smith's in the slipstream of Conor Moody also. There's number 48, Hamish Adamski, just inside the top 10. Having a fascinating battle there with Ross Simpson and Keenan Armstrong. Rollo then, number 8. Huge lead over Milo Ward now. Conor Moody has moved up into third position as they head into Druids. That's George Stanley then pushed back to fourth position, and Sam Smith still in fifth. Sam Smith's lap times have been, well, he's just sneaking under the 64-second bracket at the moment, so he is lapping a little bit quicker than the two in front of him. Meanwhile, Lewis Rollo looks like he's on for a surefire 100 points here at Brands Hatch. Milo Ward there. It's his best ever weekend in Aprilia Super Teams, that's for sure, but he'll have some catching up to do at the next round at Donington. They're going to need to get the wins on the board pretty quickly to catch up with the young Scotsman who's flying at the front. Look at that wide line there from number 28, Keenan Armstrong. Either way, it's worked out okay. He's got plenty of drive onto the start-finish straight, but that can sometimes catch you out. Lewis Rollo, the race leader, now coming into a little bit of traffic. And when I say traffic, he's actually coming up to lap riders that are in 13th and 14th. That's just how quick he is going. He's the only rider into the 102s, so he's lapping a second quicker than anybody else on circuit. There is Conor Moody, number 44, still in third position. Bradley Perry, number 97, young rider from Kendal in Cumbria. We just spoke to him a little while ago. Rider that's come direct from the ATCC British Road Racing Championship, the Junior Championship. But former Minimoto Scottish champion Lewis Rollo has been unstoppable so far. I have to think back to possibly Ulsterman Andy Reid, maybe back in 2008, the last time we saw a rider take all 4 Aprilia Super Team wins in a weekend. We certainly didn't have that luxury last year, what with some fascinating battles between Joe Francis and Tom Oliver. But just one more lap to go for Lewis Rollo. A couple of riders to deal with, and another 25 points will be going his way. Milo Ward has consolidated second position, and he's pulled a little bit of a gap on the battle for third. And Sam Smith has got himself ever so close to Conor Moody now, so Sam Smith perhaps fancies another podium. But as the race leader heads into Surtees, he just deals there with Joe Thompson, number 74, who's actually having a good run in 12th position at the moment. Around Clearways he goes, looking very, very smooth. And, well, hats off. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you, Lewis Rollo, 4 times a winner here at Brands Hatch, and 100 points, the maximum for Lewis Rollo here at Brands Hatch. A superb weekend for this young rider, and well, that certainly sent out warning signals to the rest of the field. Milo Ward is going to take second position. It is Sam Smith that has just gone across the line by 0.005 of a second ahead of Connor Moody to nick that last podium position. George Stanley, though, is only in 5th this time, ahead of Bradley Perry. Gideon Thomas managed to finish in 7th this time. Ross Simpson, a newcomer, in 8th. Hamish Adamski has taken 9th. And 10th went to Keenan Armstrong. And here is Lewis Rollo on the podium with Milo Ward and Sam Smith. Well, let's have a look at the championship standings after this first event at Brands Hatch. Lewis Rollo, a 36-point lead over Sam Smith. Milo Ward in 3rd. George Stanley 4th, ahead of Bradley Perry in 5th. And then, well, there's just a few points separating 6th down to 10th. There's the newcomer podium. Bradley Perry, once again, the winner. He's got a 33-point advantage in the newcomer standings. Ross Simpson 2nd, ahead of Gideon Thomas, Keenan Armstrong, Connor Wheeler, Zach Cordery, Ollie Brocklesby, Louis Vallely, William Holland and William Keynes.
Ross Simpson, Nitro newcomers 3rd place. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was really good.
And did you find it hard, the conditions?
Yeah, it was kind of slippery, but it was good. It was fun.
Who'd you like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors and my dad for fixing my bike, for fixing my bike to get me here.
Very well done. Moving on to Gideon Thomas, 2nd place man. Did you enjoy that? That was quite close.
Yeah, I loved it. Brilliant battle with Bradley. Really good.
Yeah. I certainly thought you might have a chance of winning that, but...
Yeah, it was really close. You got me into Graham Hill. Really thought I was going to win it.
Who'd you like to thank?
I'd like to thank my mum, dad for support, Mark Hill, really great house, and all my sponsors.
Superb, very well done. Bradley, here again. That was a good race, though. I mean, you had to work for that one, didn't you?
Yeah, so it was really good. Really close battle with Gideon there. And I just got him and I thought, it's now or never, so I just went for it.
Brilliant, very well done. Who got some people to thank?
I'd like to thank Wayne, Torbridge Roofing, Jackson's Motorcycles, and Scott Wilson and my mum and dad.
Excellent, very good win. Well done, Bradley.
Thank you.
Lewis Rollo, winner of the Super Teens overall. You must have enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was a good race, slidey, but it was fun.
You've had a very good weekend, haven't you?
Yeah, well, it's like my 2nd time, well, 1st ever time here, put it on pole, and got that taken off me, but still a really good weekend.
Well, that's it from Brands Hatch, and the Aprilia Super Teens will travel to Donington Park next. I've been Steve Day. Join us again then.